So today I'm going to show you how to put in ICF blocks on a footer. So last week we poured the concrete footers, and normally you would just start, do a slab and start framing walls, but in our case, these three sides are below grade, so they're kind of buried. This place is buried in the hill, and so these ICF blocks work great for that. I didn't want to frame walls below grade because, over time those are going to fail. Tempting to put in some all-weather wood, but we did it the right way. So in this video I'm going to show you how we did it. I've built a lot with these blocks, and I've built complete houses out of these blocks. I've built foundations out of these blocks, crawl spaces. These blocks are very DIY friendly, and anybody can do this. Really like using insulated concrete forms, easy to use. They're already insulated. It's really quick and very economical to install. You can see that our building that we're putting in right now, it's below grade. Well, what's better to put below grade? Concrete, right? You can use all-weather wood, but all-weather wood, might last 80 years or so. But this right here, this building will be standing long after that. I've already put the footer in. You can watch the video on that, on how to install the footer. Don't screed the concrete crazy, just screed it off nice and flat. All you're looking for is just a nice flat surface within a 1/4 inch all the way around the building. That helps you with the installation of your ICF blocks later. That way you start level, you'll end level. You can see I chalk lines. These are the building lines that we're building. So we got 30 feet by 80 feet, and this gives me a nice line to run my ICF blocks right along, and that way I have a nice square building and works out great. First thing you want to do when you stack your ICF blocks is you want to start in the corner. And you can see that my vertical rebar that I put in, I measured when I put it into the concrete earlier, so I knew that it was going to fit in between my plastic tabs. So you just got to plan that out when you put it in your footer. Once your outside corners are set, just work inward with your straight blocks. We got that corner set, and Mike has been working this way with the ICF corner. And then you see we have this chunk right here, which is not, block can't fit in there. We have to make one. So this is what's nice about these blocks, is you'll set it here, you'll figure out where this mark is, you'll cut this block, so you can make any size foundation work, and it's that easy. And then from now on, when we build this wall, we're going to have a vertical seam that comes here, and we're going to put wood strapping that's strapped here to here. That keeps that in place. So you got to tie these blocks together, and they make these things. They're called HV clips. Okay. And when you have your forms that are here, you just hook them on, and on the first row, you snap in two. And that ties your blocks together this way. So there's a certain placement schedule for these clips that is right in the ICF block guidelines, and for these we're using Fox blocks, and we'll leave you a link to show you exactly where these go. We got our blocks stacked 3 high, and we're getting ready to pour today. There's a bunch of things you need to do before the pour. I'll show you exactly what those are. So we went ahead and spray foamed around the blocks, which is what you're supposed to do. It actually holds the bottom in place. And then I just went ahead and put this weatherproofing on ahead of time, because we're going to then actually come up with another piece of weatherproofing right over top of this, and then there will be that'll be your moisture barrier for keeping water on the outside of the building. So we don't have ICFs on the front of the garage, just on the 3 sides. So we needed some way to end the ICF in the front, so we put a 2x6 in the middle here, and then we put a 2x12 on the outside, treated, and then this will give us a nail or two when we actually do the framing and sheathing on the outside. After we pour, we'll remove all these 2x6 strappings on the outside, but the end caps will stay in place, and that gives me something to nail to. So here's our seam. We got it all spliced up with the wood strapping. that should be ready to go for concrete. After the pour, we'll remove this wood strapping and it'll be done. You'll have a nice wall on the back here. We got some bracing in here, and what this does is allows us at the end of the concrete pour, when all the concrete's put in place, then we can go ahead and plumb up the wall. It's an 80-foot long wall, so concrete in it, so I mean if it goes one way or the other, you know, you want to correct that at the end, and these will correct that. Once we get done with the pour, we got this top plate that has to go on. It's a treated piece of lumber, and it goes right on top of the ICF. This is what attaches your wall or your floor to as you build, okay? Normally, a lot of people just put their J-bolts in, and then they go ahead and mark and drill, and then they put in the plates afterwards. But we're going to install the 2x12s right today. So we put a sill seal on the bottom. This is the concrete side. These will get mounted in the concrete. We'll actually put them right on top, set them in place, and then all we have to do when the concrete sets is tighten the bolt, and we're ready to build. So it's the little things like this that can save you a lot of time and money. Putting these top plates on would take several hours later on. Might as well get it done right now and then not have to worry about it. Yeah, so we're ready to go. This concrete truck should be here shortly. Get this thing poured. Pouring concrete into 4-foot ICFs is pretty straightforward, just right out of the chute, put it inside the forms. So once the concrete's in place, then you vibrate the wall with a vibrator, then you screed it off. And then once you get all that done, then it's time to drop in the top plate. Yeah, so the concrete poured really smoothly. You can see everything's in place, and we didn't have any blowouts or anything, so it went great. So the last step you got to do, we're going to go ahead and square this up, brace this wall if it's got to go in or out, make sure it's plumb, and then as you can see the string on the outside that we have here, and we put a small block here. So as you go down the string, if the wall is bowing in or out, it'll affect the distance the string is off the wall. So it's a very easy way to straighten up your wall. I just take a 1x block, stick it in here, string line, and I take my tape and I check it all the way down, and then you have to push the wall in or out depending on what that string tells you. These braces are just free floating right here. They're not doing anything yet. But when we go ahead and take our measurement on our string, if we need to go in or out, we then push the wall out or we pull it in, and then we attach it to our concrete stake. That holds the wall in place while the concrete sets, and then you're good to go. And the last step is you want to waterproof it. Our ICF below grade walls are done. Nice thing is I'll just be able to pour my concrete slab right inside, so it gets us one step ahead. ICFs are super easy, as you can see. Didn't take us much time, and got to get it done. These are the blocks we're using. They're called Fox blocks. They're pretty much an industry standard across the United States. These are the ones we've used in the past. They're very easy to use. We're not sponsored by these. I do like them because there's a lot of benefits to them. They're universal. They don't have to go in one way. You can flip them over. They go this way. Same with the corners. You can flip them both ways, which you have to oscillate in the corner. But for the most part, these blocks are very easy to work with. They're marked, so when you cut them, you got lines to cut on. And then they have these really nice wide tabs in here that are 1.5 inches, which are basically your stud placements for when you do sheetrock later on. And this is really nice to have something to screw to that's not thin. These are actually 1.5 inches wide. And then same in the corners. The corners, I believe, are like 4 inches wide. So you can actually attach product on the outside of these blocks very easy. So I'm happy to recommend these blocks are great. and very easy to use and DIY friendly.